Milton. So I took care of the involvement of people with dementia and carers and older people in the programme. And before you is a good chunk of our advisory group. I'm going to do some very, very quick introductions, starting with Christine.
You want me to introduce myself?
Sorry, not Christine, Chris.
I told him off, I'm not to be called Christine. I'm only called Christine when I've done something wrong. So my name's Chris Maddox. I'm a person living with dementia. I'm an ambassador for the Alzheimer Society and a big part of Steve's group. And we'd just like to share some of our experiences here with you today. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Lorraine.
Hello everyone, I'm Lorraine and I was diagnosed with young onset of Alzheimer's disease in 2014. Like Chris, I'm also an ambassador of Alzheimer's Society and many other projects.
You are indeed. Thank you, Lorraine. You don't need to stand up,
oh,
by the way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Peter.
I'm Peter, I come from South Wales. I have Alzheimer's disease and well, since I had the diagnosis, I've started doing a lot more things that I didn't used to do before.
Which is an important point, right?
Yeah.
Because there's often an assumption that with the arrival of the diagnosis of dementia, that's it. But we work with so many people whose lives come alive at the point of diagnosis, it seems. Trevor.
Thank you. I am going to stand up. I'm Trevor Salomon. I'm a carer for my wife, Yvonne, who was diagnosed in 2013 at the age of 57 with young onset Alzheimer's. She is one of Sophie's 39% statistics now who is taken care of in a care home where she's been for the last 5 years.
Thank you, Trevor. Francis.
I'm Francis Isaacs. I live in the Brecon Beacons, and shortly after my diagnosis of posterior cortical atrophy, which is has Alzheimer effects and some other ones as well. I've spent a different life from the one I had before, and I'm probably just as busy. I think I'm going to die of exhaustion.
Franny ran a watercolour session as part of the wetlands work that took place at Seaton Tramway. So she's been for a number of years now teaching other people with dementia and carers to use watercolours, including me. I was terrible, by the way. Wayne.
Hi, good morning. I'm Wayne. I'm from Kent. I had mixed dementia, which sort of started with a major heart attack in 2004. Since then, stayed very, very busy doing all kinds of teaching and audits and all sorts of things, locally, nationally, and also internationally. Love it.
Thank you.
Don't have time for anything else now.
Well, exactly. I mean, and again, that's a constant thing for people that we work with. You know, we often have to get diaries in, months in advance because people are so engaged, and it just shows that that there is a real positive life to be had after a diagnosis of dementia. Dorothy Ann. Yes, sorry, I went blank there. Dorothy Ann, please.
I'm, I think, nearly 10 years from diagnosis. I'm a sort of latecomer to this group. The main point I would like to make is the stimulus that being in the open air makes. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Dorothy Ann. Sue.
I'm Sue. I was a carer for my late father-in-law. My hubby and I cared for him, and we managed to keep him at home, and he died peacefully in his own bed, which we were very happy about, as he actually built his own house. And then coming up 3 years ago, I had sepsis, and I now have cognitive impairment myself, so I have now joined the other side.
Yes, you've got perspective from both sides,
Both sides.
which makes you really valuable.
Yeah, so
Thank you very much, Sue. Joy.
Yeah.
You don't stand up, but it's all right.
I'll do it on told.
It's the first time for everything, Joy. So.
Yeah, I'm Joy, Dr. Joy Watson. I've got my honorary doctor from Salford University for the work I was doing for dementia, teaching and that. So I actually live in Manchester.
Thank you very much, Joy. Jennifer.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Milton, and I care for my partner that has vascular dementia. I just support him in everything. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. So I've got. So we did have a bit of a rehearsal. I'd like to say this is completely spontaneous, but the plan might go completely to pot. And again, if you can't hear anyone, do say. And the
because apparently I have a megaphone. With
she
a voice.
does. we were tasked with basically trying to communicate, among other things, what nature means to individual people with dementia and carers. So, Joy, if I could come to you first, what does nature mean to you?
I think on a personal level, it's getting out of the four walls of being stuck in my house, and it's really important to escape the ongoing rattle of dementia. It's just escaping that stress and that difficulty.
How does nature provide that escape for you, Joy?
I think it helps me to just be part of the world again, rather than just being, getting back into some sort of environment that I enjoy.
You'd also said in the past that it helped you to feel very much in the moment.
That's right.
And I think that's one of the things that people often say about nature. And so many traditional services for people with dementia, let's sing some songs from the war 20 years before you were born. Let's think about them during power of attorney in the future. Where people with dementia are often really comfortable is right here, right bloody now. They're really good at it. And nature is a fantastic way of supporting people with dementia to be right here, right now. Because nature and trees, they don't want to sing songs from the war. They don't want to talk about during power of attorney. They just are. And what's one of the great things about nature. Thank you so much, Joy. Trevor, how about you? What did nature mean to you? What does nature mean to you?
The best days that we had when my wife was at home were those that we spent in the great outdoors, whether it was at wetland centres or farms or parks or anywhere within sniffing distance of the sea. And what epitomised those days for me was that she smiled all day. And you know, and I know, if somebody smiles, you smile as well. So we both smiled, and for those days, we kind of forgot all about dementia because we were just like everybody else.
Really important point. Thank you, Trevor. Francis.
Yes.
What about you? What does nature mean to you?
Well, I couldn't live without it, to be honest with you, because why we live in the Brecon Beacons, because we love it. For me, I like to go out practically every day, and I'm going to walk quite slowly because the dog's getting a bit old as well, so we're a very good couple, and she likes to sniff. I'm not so keen. So we wander around, and I notice every different change of leaf, flower, the growth, and as it all diminishes towards the winter. And for me, it just makes me feel just wonderful, and I love the sounds of it. All the sort of sounds of, God, have I remembered this, turned off that, all that goes out of my head, and I can just lose myself in the wonderful feel of it, the wind swishing, the birds going across the lake, the sound when the wheat is growing or whatever it is down there, just swishing, and you know, the feel of it all. And then, because you've heard, I enjoy my painting. When I get home, I sometimes like to translate those feelings onto paper. You know, yes. So it's a wonderful thing for me.
Thank you, Friendly. Thank you, Friendly. Talking of the wind, Lorraine, you mentioned.
Not for that
Sorry,
reason.
mate, I couldn't resist. Tell us about your recent experience of wind and what nature means to you. Not that kind of wind.
Not that wind, it's wind. I think it was some time back, recently, we had a really strong wind. It was some storm, whatever it was. I love the wind because I feel the energy from the wind and it's exhilarating, exciting. So there was I, it was pitch black, pyjamas on, dressing gown, 2 water bottles, socks, my garden clogs. Out I trotted in my garden. I sat there, and in my garden it's very enchanted. There's chimes and solar lights, and it was very magical, and I could feel the wind, and it was just a wonderful moment. So I just love being outside and experience all the senses. There's nothing like it, and dementia does not live there at all.
Precisely. Thank you, Lorraine. Wayne, you'd also mentioned something about senses too. Do you want to talk to that for a second?
Yeah, because dementia isn't, I mean, most people think dementia, means you forget things or it's memory, but dementia is all about all your senses and having your senses messed with, and that's where nature is such a great tonic, because it will stimulate all your senses all in one go for free. What can be better than that? You know, it's just alive.
Thanks, Wayne, absolutely. Jennifer, you said something really poignant about what nature means to you and to Stan, as well.
Stan attends a fantastic organisation in London, in southeast London, in Sydenham, called Sydenham Gardens. And if no one knows about it, please look for it in the website and go and visit. They're very open. You can just walk in, take a cup of tea, a sandwich, go and sit in the garden, for example. They're fantastic. And Stan, when he walked, he's been there for about 3 years. They don't manage to get rid of him. Because when it's time to finish, I just go in and, please, we need another space. So they've opened another little project now that is started off for 3 months, once a month. And now they've managed to extend it for 6 months.
And how does it make you feel?
When I take him there, as soon as I stop the car, before he takes, I can hardly take his seatbelt off. He jumps out and he walks in, and he owns it. He walks into the garden and he touches and he feels, and he sees the sounds of the birds. He just loves it, and for me it makes me happy and secure that he's in a happy place. And I think Sydenham Gardens is everything for him. And he's here. If he wants, he can say it. Do you want to say anything, Lev, about the Sydenham Gardens?
Yes, it's a very nice place to be. But all of a sudden she just looked at me and tell me, you've got that thing. You've got
why we're here today. Yeah.
Jennifer had said that what she sees, Stan, when you're there, is that your whole body relaxes, your whole body changes.
Well, that's all she done. She told me I've got what?
Is it dementia?
Dementia, Danny.
So I said, well, how can you say that?
Because someone told me.
It's a good question, Stan. I'm conscious that I've got 3 more questions to go. We've only done one. We've only got 5 minutes to go. All right, so I'm going to cut to the chase a little bit, and then we'll maybe take some Q&As for a minute or so. And it occurred to me we could run this session again online, because we've got lots of good stuff from people, and we can publish it through the ENLIVEN website, so you can see all the pearls of wisdom that people have created. But for now, let's stick with single words. So if there was a single word, Wayne, that describes dementia.
Alive.
Sorry, no, not dementia. That describes nature. Alive. Jennifer, what would you say? Belonging.
Belong to nature.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Lorraine.
Exhilarating.
The first time you said that, we thought you said accelerated. Both work for me.
Yes.
So exhilarated, alive, refreshed, belonging, exhilarated. Trevor.
Respite.
Do you want to expand on that a little for me?
Yes, because when you're out for the day with somebody living with dementia, and you can see that they are relaxed and they're uplifted, it's a day off for you as a carer as well.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah,
Trevor.
well, that's all she said to me, you've got dementia. I said, well, where do you get that from? I mean, and how can you say that I've got dementia? What have I said? What have I done?
You nothing.
Yeah, you've done nothing.
Thank you, Stan. Joy, how about you? What word springs to mind for you when you think of nature?
Well, you ain't put it on my piece of paper, so I can't remember. Belonging.
Belonging. So that is spontaneous stuff is great.
We've had to put up with, can't you?
So it's interesting that two people use the word belonging. And I think when you built on that, Joyce said, you feel like you belong to the world again. Again, not just a person with dementia. And again, I think that attests the power of dementia to give people the reminder that they're part of the human family and have a place at the human table. Sue, how about you? What word springs to mind for you?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Did you hear that?
Mindfulness.
Sue said mindfulness, which brings us right back to what we somewhat at the beginning about, it's you, Joy, about being in the moment. Making no demands, it just is. Now, advisory group, apologies that we got about 1/3 of the way through what we planned to do. We will run it again,
As usual.
We'll publish, as usual. But I'd like to admit, if anyone's got any questions for any members of the advisory group, then now's your chance. Hi.
Hi, well I'll ask Chris a question, because I'd like to, but anyone can answer it. So, you talk about, or somebody talked about doing things that you didn't do before. To what extent do you feel that the groups and things that are provided for people living with dementia reflect the things that you want to do, or do you do the things that are on offer? Because I'm struggling with my father to find things that match what he's interested in.
I think it's all about finding out what the person wants to do. And they do say that people living with dementia can't learn new things. That is so wrong. People living with dementia can learn new things. And I've learned so much. And talking about the point that the lady over there made about having a warm welcome, they do say that a person living with dementia may not remember where they went yesterday, who they were with or what they did, but they will always remember how you make them feel. So give that welcome. And I would just like to say that it gives me freedom. I was 60 when I was diagnosed with dementia, and I lost my job as a result of my diagnosis. I lost my will to live. And being out in nature, the depression and the anxiety I get every day leaves me. And I live right by the sea, and often I'll wake up, still in my nightwear, put a coat and a jumper on, and I'm there watching the sunrise. There's nothing better than that, listening to the sounds of the sea and everything else.
And you publish a picture pretty much every day.
Yeah, I take my phone and take lots of photographs with me. And then I'm going to send some to Franny so she can paint them.
I'd also just like to add to that, I mean, the ENLIVEN Project involved the DEEP network. The DEEP network is a network of 80 groups or so around the UK, specifically for people with dementia. And in many of those groups, it's people with dementia themselves. Would this be true, Sarah? I notice many of the groups involved in DEEP is the people with dementia and the carers involved that decide what to do. Absolutely. So rather than a top-down, oh, today we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing this, it's the group themselves that decide.
I think, as far as you're concerned, by meeting other people with dementia, they made it apparent to me the things I could do. That was, I think, that was a bit about your question.
Yeah, that's a really important point, Peter. The inspiration that you get, not from talking heads like me, but from other people with dementia who are living it.
Yes.
Yeah. Lorraine?
For me, it's talking to people that truly understand and tapping into what kind of interest you had before dementia actually set in, working with you so that you can still do those activities that you once enjoyed, but on a different level.
I'm gonna go to Franny, and then I think we should probably wrap up because we're into break time. So Franny, I'm gonna go to you for last words, if that's okay.
I would reiterate, it's certainly in the initial stages, being with other people who have similar problems and to be able to share them. It's a bit like being a cancer patient. Only other people with it understand it. But then quickly you find yourself sucked in to things that interest you. And many of us, many of the people sitting here, are campaigners for all sorts of rights and wrongs. And I feel that, you know, what time I have when I'm still in fairly sound mind, I never was, but, you know, why I expect so much now, I have no idea. But I feel a sort of an urge and an urgency to do stuff to make life better for people in the future. And that's what this project is about, you know, to a very large extent, so that people won't feel the barriers when they go out. So find something, your dad will find something he likes, or something, or someone else that he likes.
Yeah, but she just...
Well,
Steve, can I just add one thing?
Go on then, Penny.
Just very quickly, so our allotment project in Exeter is a deep project as well. And a lot of the people that first come to our allotment, the carer will often say, he doesn't want to go in the garden, he doesn't want to join the garden, he doesn't want to. It's extraordinary the effect it has within about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. And they're doing things that you never thought people would want to engage in again. And people have told me when they get home, their person then goes out into the garden to do stuff at home. So it reignites stuff as well. It's not just finding a new thing, it's reigniting old things as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Penny, and thank you, members of the advisory group. And I think many of you will be around for the rest of the day. If people want to come chat, that'd be great. Enjoy tea and coffee.